Hello everyone, Sheek here with another Transformers review, and today I will be reviewing the Magic Square Brobdingnag MSB32 Spock. Logical. Always logical. Any other name would seem somewhat illogical because he's third party, so obviously they can't call him his actual name. This is for only suitable for persons at 16 years and up. Not too surprising, he is very small. Picture of his alt mode. Kid from that one episode of Transformers. Barcode, not sure where you'd actually, what toy stores would actually have that, where you'd scan it, I don't know. But that's about it for the packaging. Alright, so here we have Spock out of his packaging. As you can see, he's pretty much a miniaturized version of Masterpiece Shockwave. Yeah, he's pretty well detailed. He does come with some accessories as well, but we'll take a look at those after we take a look at his face and all that. As you can see, he is a cyclopes, whatever. But that's his face. It is on a ball joint. He can look up pretty far. He doesn't really look down, but that's because of his big old bosom. And he can look over that way. He can look over that way. He doesn't. Well, he does get a full 360. Doesn't really get much wiggly waggly, but he does get quite a bit more than than you'd expect from someone of his size. And he does have light piping. Let's see if we can actually get a good look at that. It's not the brightest, but you can see his yellow eye glowing. That's about it for his face. His chest, you can see it's translucent purple over a silver plastic inside, just to show off some internals. He comes with the standard light purple plastic for his gun, for his hand. And then he has this backpack right here, which is the front of the gun, obviously, or maybe not obviously. More gun parts, and then here is his legs. There's like the grip and all that. And he does come, yeah, that's pretty much it for that. I guess I'll go ahead and show off his articulation as well. Head, I showed that off. Arms are on ball joint, can do a full 360, but not going to do that with the hose attached. Bicep swivel. Arms can bend over 90 degrees, bend almost, well, pretty much as far as it can until that meets right there. Doesn't bend backwards. There isn't any wrist swivel, at least not on the gun side. And then on this side, the wrist does swivel. Waist swivel, can do a full 360. Let's see if these side panels flip up. Yes, the side panels do flip up. And he can do the full splits. Flip up this panel. Legs can go forward that far. And back that far when these panels all go up. But now he looks kind of goofy. But he can do all those poses. And then he does have thigh rotation. Over 90-degree bend at the knees, and he has a little bit of ankle tiltage, and then of course you can move his feet around just a little bit, but I think that's also more for transformation. So that's about it for Spock. Shockwave Spock. There we are. And now for his accessories. He does come with a tiny version of himself in gun modes, maybe so you can, I don't know, maybe it's something that also I do believe Masterpiece Shockwave came with, so it's just something that they wanted to make it seem more like Masterpiece Shockwave, I think. But yeah, he can shoot himself, he can hold himself, which I think is kind of cool. He comes with a spare rubber hose, and originally he didn't come with this in the package. I put that on, but he does come with a spare hose. And then, of course, he comes with a miniaturized character card, which is really cool. It's done in a plastic. Then he has extremely strong, extremely intelligent, pretty fast, very high ranking. I mean, obviously, he's pretty much his Megatron's second in command on Cybertron. Lots of courage. Well, I guess when you only have logic and no other emotions really. Not at all. I mean, it makes sense that he would. Okay, and fire blast and skill. So he's pretty far up there. This right here, I haven't really found a use for it in his alt mode, but it does go over his gun barrel part to just make his back all purple, like sort of like with Masterpiece Shockwave. Although this doesn't really prop up for a stand like does on the Masterpiece version. And also, one thing I would advise being very careful about is that since he is so small, what would have been somewhat thick and sturdy on Masterpiece Shockwave would probably be very delicate or potentially delicate on this guy. Now he does come with some alternate hands. As you can see, there's the saluting hand. Then he has all the hands in translucent purple, although since he has no lights, it seems kind of pointless. Translucent gun, and then, of course, he also has translucent fists that you can put for his other gun hand, so you can make him have two hands instead of just a gun hand and a normal hand. So that's about it for his accessories. So let's get on to transformation. Oh, and before we get down to transformation, let's go ahead and have a quick comparison. So here he is with Magic Square Ultra Magnus. See how they look together? And here we have him with Lord Megatron. And as you can see, this is not Magic Square's version. I would like to get Magic Square's version at some point because it might scale a little bit better. And maybe it wouldn't be so floppy and loose as he is. He is floppy and loose. So that's about it for comparisons. Alright, to get him transformed, first thing you want to do is to lift his arms up a little bit, rotate them up, and then you're going to rotate this way until you see these lined up. Then you're going to want to pull his backpack all the way back and out, flip his head in, close back up, then just get this extended out. You want to then kind of pull these out, but you want to untap it from there, and then so you can pull it freely out without risking damage to it. Then you want to get this up and over so that when you pull his shoulders up like so, like that, and then you want to have this around it, sort of like on, like I said, like with Masterpiece Shockwave, very similar to him. Then you just tab it together around there, close up around his hands, close up, get it all nice and tight, should hold itself in place. Obviously you can still see his hands, but that's not a big deal because that's only from underneath on the front of the gun. That's about it for upper body. Then just go ahead and flip these up because they'll be in the way otherwise earlier, and they may just flip not the whole thing up, just that part up, so it has these exposed for his knees. And then you want to if it hasn't already started to do it itself, but pull down his hips like that. And then this can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but start working on his legs, pull out the sides of him like that. Then you also want to rotate his feet around. First off, you want to go ahead and do that. Get those out of the way. Then rotate them around, and then this right here will tab into right there, like that. And second, just like this on this side, tab in, and then you're going to get this rotated around there. rotate it around to here. That tabbed in right there. There we are. Okay, mess this up a little bit. Nope, it didn't actually. Okay, just got confused for a moment, but get it like that. Okay, second, just to get on this side. Alright, just to get to where we can get tabbed in. There we are. So you go from here, bring it up, tab in right here. This will tab in right there, like that. Get it all lined up like so. And then flip these out. These panels right here, just flip them out. And as you can see, his legs are pretty much lined up for his gun mode or laser cannon, whatever you want to call it. And then you slide these up. Make sure that these on the back of his kneecaps tab in right there. And then same with here and in there. Just make sure that lines up. And sometimes he wants to fight you a little bit. Sometimes the small ones are the problematic ones. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And get in there. And yeah, he's being problematic. And you also fold the front feet in like that. But generally that's probably done after you get this all closed up. And sometimes things will move out of their proper alignment. Like you might want to, like if everything's not quite fitting right, it could be because the hips came out of alignment, because that does happen sometimes. And the few times I've transformed him, you just clip everything together. Make sure everything's lining up as best as possible. Although it still might not quite line up just perfectly. As you can see, it's not. It's being a little finicky. There we are. And you flip those up right there. And you know that it's lined up properly if these tab in without too much trouble. But this one tabbed in no problem, but this one being a little tricky. Let's see if we can get it to cooperate. And if it doesn't want to go in, then it probably means you're going to have to split this up again. And yep, that's probably what happened. It looks like it came out of position a little bit. And let's try this again. Hopefully with better results this time. I will say this though, the Masterpiece one does transform a little bit easier, but that's probably because it's larger. Probably. Okay, as like I said, the only last thing to do is get that in there, and I'll be right back. Alright, and for comparison with Magic Square Shockwave or Spock, here we have Magic Square Ultra Magnus. See how they compare side by side? And here we have, I don't remember which company made him, but a third party Legends Scale Megatron. See how they are side by side. And that's about it for comparisons in alt mode. Alright, the last thing to do pretty much is just make sure the targeting sight is up. Fold down his side panels right there, and they should just click right into place. So fill in that little seam. And here we have him in his space gun mode. Looks pretty cool. Just like a downscaled version of, well, Masterpiece Shockwave. One thing that's pretty cool though is that you can, you could probably, if you have like a large third-party Bruticus, you can probably have him hold Magic Square Spock, which would probably be pretty cool if you do have a figure to do that with. And another thing you can also do is just make sure that this is all closed, streamlined, so it doesn't look as odd. But yeah, that's about it for him in his gun mode. He doesn't have any lights in here, but he does have the same translucent plastic right up there, so it still looks really cool even without any electronics. And this can still kind of be used as a stand, I think. I don't know, it didn't mention it in the instructions at all, but you can probably rest him up against it like that so that he'll stand up. You could probably also potentially flip these out to maybe have the gun stand, but it still is pretty front heavy. But if you have them flipped down just a little bit further, it does help prop him up. But if you do that, it's just going to fall over. And also this little joint right here for his hips or waist, that's kind of seems like it's a little bit loose, so it kind of droops down a little bit. But other than that, he's a nice little blaster figure. Not blaster as in all about blaster, but as in, Shockwave. That's about it for Magic Square. Magic Square. I don't know why they call it Magic Square, because on the, this is just random thing, but it looks more like a cube. So yeah, but it's Magic Square MSB32 Spock. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.